What's going on, guys? This is MYUTANT. So I figured I haven't made a mutant combo video and deck profile in a while. Now I told myself, you know what? Let's just try to make one video with both the combos for this deck as well as the deck list. So a 2-in-1 package deal. Let me know, guys, if this is the kind of thing that you guys are interested for. And of course, before we get into any explanation or any showcasing, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Let's try to get 1,000 likes on this video because as soon as we hit that, we will be making a live stream on this deck. And now let's jump right into combo number 1. Emergency Teleport. One card combo does a pretty good job at kind of doing a lot for one single card. And if you use it on draw phase, you can play around Jewel and Logbird, but also Effect Veiler because you search your mutant, no, ST46. So I realized that M is for monster and ST is for spell and traps. So this searches monsters and this searches spell and traps. Very interesting. And yeah, you're going to be searching your Mutant Cry and then banish your MO5 to summon Mutant Beast, and then you set one. And that's the one card double interruption right there because you're going to be able to negate a spell or trap your opponent controls by banishing yourself with the Mutant Beast or basically any other mutant card, preferably because you want to go Mutant Cry in order to shuffle back 2 mutant cards from your, I think, field, graveyard, and banished in order to summon a Mutant Fusion, so the Mutant Synthesis, which basically pops a card on the field, on the summon, so just like that you can destroy another card your opponent has. So again, 2 interruptions with one single card, not too bad. And if you want to kill your opponent, you can actually do that relatively easily with just ST46 Mutation, which is a newer card. Actually, no, Mutant. Wow, a lot of effort was put into the name of this card, Jesus. And any trap card in the game. So going second, you go search for your field spell, and then you special summon the Mutator. And you're going to be banishing the the MO5, summon the Mutant Beast, and then special summon back the MO5 in order to be searching for another mutant monster. Kind of doesn't really matter this time. Banish it to summon the Mutant Beast again, and then banish your trap to summon Mutant Arsenal. You could also banish a spell card, I believe, in order to summon the other mutant monster, but then you don't get the attack boost, so I guess your monsters will become a little weaker. I don't know if this really matters for game, but I know that this is game because it's 5k plus 81, so yeah, I think it doesn't matter for game. Anyways, 8100 damage with like 2.5 cards, not too bad because you're playing a lot of trap cards and it is relatively likely to draw ST46 and the Mutant, so definitely something that you have to keep in mind when you are trying to kill people going second. Alrighty, so this is me playing a more complex hand, so double Emergency Teleport with the ST46. Ash and Terraforming, so I'm gonna go Emergency Teleport for the MO5, and I'll be searching for the Mutant. Obviously, the other really good mutant monster. All 3 main decks, small little mutant monsters are amazing, but yeah, they all do their kind of own thing. So this basically makes it so the Mutant is a card that allows you to summon like any of the mutant monsters from your deck just by banishing the monster from your deck instead of, well, the card actually, so you can banish spells and traps from your deck instead of having to banish it from your hand or field. So it's a little less neggy, but you do have to pay life points in a way. So you do take damage at the end equal to the attack of the monster that you summon. And yeah, I'm summoning the Arsenal and the Mutant Beast, and at the very end, I search the Terraforming. I set 2 back row. I guess you could use Emergency Teleport to either search a mutant monster on your opponent's turn in order to search, or hold it for next turn, or summon Ghost Ogre if you play that card, but I don't really recommend it. And the monster that you do summon does get banished on the end phase, so if anything, keeping the Emergency Teleport in your hand instead of kind of losing a little bit more to back row removal could make sense. And the Mutant Cry, of course, will summon the Synthesis in order to pop a card your opponent controls. So you have the Arsenal, which banishes a monster on the field when a monster effect is activated, I think. And then the Mutant Beast negates his spell card, so you can negate Duster. Necro Valley is a very terrifying floodgate, and you don't lose to it because you don't really interact with your own graveyard. And then whatever else, we had Ash and, again, Synthesis. So 5 interruptions or something like that. I will take that any day of the week. Alrighty, so I think you already know this, but this deck plays Dimension Shifter very, very well. And other floodgates like Necro Valley with Macrocosmos, Dimension Fisher, etc. You can actually make it so that you can dodge Jewel and Logbird and Effect Veiler because both cards have to be sent to the graveyard as cost for that, but you can't play around Ash, so that kind of sucks. Anyways, I got really lucky there, and Prosperity for the 6th card was the Emergency Teleport, so I was able to get my MO5 and then get the Mutant, and I can banish the ST46 or something. Their names are so whack, bro. It's not my fault. Summon the Arsenal and then activate Necro Valley, set the Mutant Cry. My opponent is still under Shifter. Not too bad. And again, Mutant Cry just has that fantastic effect that allows you to fuse for like a big mutant boy. So yeah, very good turn 1 board For Mutant, at the end of the day, it's kind of Mutant. But yeah, it's really up to you whether you want to consider this a better Cosmo or a worse Cosmo. But it definitely isn't the most explosive deck out there. It's a little bit more on the control side. And I do agree that you do start from behind when you play this deck because, yeah, I mean, you don't really have like a Link 1 monster that does like insane things. You just have relatively decent, well, I mean, the small little monsters are broken, but the bigger boys, they are neggy. So that's something that you have to keep into consideration. Let's jump right into the deck profile now. Alrighty, so for the deck profile, we're playing one Arsenal with one Beast. If you want to play the OTK package, you have to play 2 Beasts, and then you will be able to kill your opponent relatively easily. And then we're playing triple Dimension Shifter with triple Ash. And I think that's it for the hand traps because I really wanted to play Mystic Mine with Necro Valley and the Mutant Evolution Lab in order to make terraforming way better. I think this is like as logical as it gets for the deck building of this deck. And for the other mutant monsters, obviously triple ST46, triple MO5, and triple Mutator, that's kind of a given. It's just that I'm really minimalistic on the big mutant monsters. I think that's what a lot of people are doing as well. I don't know because I don't watch other deck profiles on YouTube, but I think that would be the most logical ratio of mutant monsters because banishing a spell is really neggy. So making the other mutant monster, which I forgot the name, I think it's Mutant Mist, is just a little whack. And also it's when your opponent activates a trap card, which will not come up as often as when your opponent activates a monster effect or when your opponent activates a spell card. So these two are the ones that are just overall the best. And yeah, for the other spell cards, I'm playing one Terraforming, like I said, with triple Prosperity, triple Emergency Teleport, obvious, and then one Defisher and these 3 field spells. So Prosperity is better than Extravagance because you control what you banish. But on top of that, this deck doesn't really win if it has 10 cards in the hand with no play. It wins when it has one very specific card with a bunch of support cards. Yeah, sure, it's kind of like a Protect the Castle in a way, because you're never playing the game with cards that do not work well with each other, if that makes any sense. Like, for example, in, let's say, Evo Swarm, if you weren't able to make Ophion, you are simply not doing anything, so it really was Ophion control, and then the other cards in your deck were making it so that your Ophion would be enough to kind of make it so that your opponent wouldn't be able to play. And in this situation, it kind of is the same as if you draw either Emergency Teleport with MO5, Mutator, or ST46, you get to your big boss monster, and then you have ways of kind of, you know, applying pressure with, like, there can only be one Mutant Cry into the Synthesis, and then Expansion is another consistency card, but a little slower. It does allow you to protect your mutant monsters, though. And then Solemn Strike is just a tempo card. But going second Solemn Strike and there can only be one is really amazing. It can definitely be argued that Solemn Strike is not needed and that Imperm can be played over. I definitely am not against that. But I think for the rest of the main deck, this is as good as it gets. Alright, for the extra deck, though, I did not put a lot of effort into this. And the reason for that is because you're rarely going into your extra deck, and the majority of these cards are just Prosperity Fuel, I'm not gonna lie. So, I'm on one Ultimus, triple Synthesis, double Elder Entity Entis, Omega, Wind Pegasus at Ignister, Toad, the Evil Twin, Link 4. I think you can obviously guess where I'm going with this. And then Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, Unicorn, Phoenix, Area, and IP Masquerena. Alright, so the reason why Toad, Wind Pegasus at Ignister, and the Link 4 with Omega are there, and Elder Entity Entis, two things. First of all, if your opponent is playing Dogmatic and Maximus, you send these cards and you make your opponent lose cards. Now, if you are citing Artemate Slay, which is a card that will be very relevant next format with Power of the Elements, these cards are amazing because the card reads, it's a spell card, send one monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, then target one monster your opponent controls with the same card type, so Fusion, Synchro, Xyz Pendulum, or Link. Shuffle it into the deck. Your opponent cannot activate monster effects in response to this card's activation. So let's just say your opponent had a Borlo Savage Dragon with El Shaddai Winda. You can go Artemate Slay, send Elder Entity Entis, shuffle back the Winda, and then the Entis tries to destroy another card on the field, which kind of trades 1 for 2 because you either destroy the Savage or you at least bait it, which is really amazing. So that's the reason why Artemate Slay is just an overall amazing card. It's better than Dogmatica Punishment, you can probably say that. Yeah, the majority of the extra deck is a joke anyways. And the Evil Twin Link 4 also has a graveyard effect, so you can banish it in order to send an Evil Twin monster from your deck to the graveyard and basically shuffle back or send a card your opponent controls to the grave without targeting, so it's even better. Anyways, for the idea section, the second Mutant Beast, if you want to play the OTK route, the OTK combo that I showcased, and I think combo number 2, Pendulum Monster, I don't even know if it works, but if you can shuffle back or bounce back a Pendulum Monster with Ardamate Slay by sending a Pendulum Monster in your extra deck, or like Ritual, whatever. I honestly have no freaking idea, but whatever. I don't really know these kind of complicated rulings. Anyways, Lightning Storm, Duster, Call by the Grave, set rotation could actually make sense because we are playing 3 different field spells. Macrocosmos makes sense, could also kind of make sense instead of like 1 strike or something like that. Solemn Judgment, Rivalry, Solemn Warning. I don't think Rivalry makes any sense because these are Psychics, and then this is Machine, this is Beast, and even the other one I think is a different type, so yeah. I guess There Can Only Be One is the only really logical one because you can just afford to summon 1 Psychic into 1 Beast and then another Psychic into a Machine, and you never really lose to your own Floodgate. Whereas with Rivalry, Goes in Match, I don't think that is the case because the big boys are all different attributes, only the smaller mutants are all waters. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Let me know your thoughts about this deck in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.